guys, welcome back to Roundtable Talk and welcome back to the channel where I dissect, analyse and review the latest releases as well as some old classics. So another surprise drop, this time from Run the Jewels, otherwise known as Killer Mike and LP. It's the fourth instalment of their collaborative effort. Yeah, interested to hear what they've got in store. Obviously it's come at a time of such political and social unrest in the US and across the world, you know, as everybody mourns the tragedy of George Floyd. I'll be completely honest, I've never been the biggest fan of Run the Jewels as a group, or, you know, in terms of the music they release. That's not to say I can't see the skill of LP and Killer Mike in terms of both rapping and production. I was a massive fan actually of Killer Mike's, I think his last solo album called Rap Music or RAP Music. It was produced in full by LP, and I think is the actual reason why those two actually got together as a collaborative team anyway. In terms of the music they've produced as Run the Jewels, I would say that I've enjoyed each album they've released, but I don't feel like any of the Run the Jewels albums for me have personally held much replayability. I'd much rather, personally, go back to RAP Music than I would any of the Run the Jewels projects. But yeah, as I said, that doesn't take away from the fact that I can recognise the skill and, as I say, enjoy each project on that first listen. But in terms of having music that I want to come back and revisit, I haven't found that yet with Run the Jewels. I hope, you know, on this fourth effort that it does have that. But what I do know I'm going to get on this album for sure is booming production from LP, incredible lyrical dexterity from both LP and Killer Mike, and some incredible gems of wisdom from Killer Mike himself. The project's got a fair few interesting guests, including Pharrell and the frontmen of Queens of the Stone Age and Rage Against the Machine. So I can feel that this is going to be a very, very political album made with the strong anti-establishment thread that's run through each of their projects, and I feel like they're solo projects too. So yeah, I think I'm not going to waste any more time. Before I do dive in though, please do remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and follow me on all the social links below. I really appreciate it. I've not heard any of the singles they released. I think they've released a couple, maybe two, before this album was actually fully dropped. Yeah, I've not heard either of them, so I'm going into this completely fresh. So yeah, let's dive in with the first track called Yankee and the Brave, episode 4.
Immortality's out of bounds, it's a one-round ride. And I meant it when I said it, never take me alive. I got the grand man running in the alley outside. He ain't the brave in here. Everybody hit the deck. We don't mean no harm, but we truly mean all the disrespect.
So exactly what I expected from the intro. Booming production, those old school drums, definitely, again, as they often do, drawing from the influence of the likes of, you know, Public Enemy in the way that they flow. The way they go back and forth as well, it is pretty much unparalleled. They have such good chemistry as a pair. But yeah, vicious rhymes, so much fire in the belly of both MCs really, and even 4 collaborative records down the line, you can still hear the passion that they both feel for this project, this collaboration. Production wise, I particularly like the section in Killer Mike and LP's second verses, I think they were, where the bass line drops in and there's some sort of really interesting elements in the background of the production. Yeah, as I said, very much what I expected in terms of an intro to the project. Let's move on to the next track. It's called Ooh La La and features Greg Nice of Nice and Smooth and TJ Premier.
Ooh la la, ooh la la. Looking for M's, I got lots of friends. Jump out of my bed like where that bread. You go hold the egg, way to bring the check. Rewind, you want maximum stupid, I am the guy. First of all, fuck the fucking law. We is fucking raw. Stay tall, oysters on the handtail, switch your ball. Like
flows on this.
Still fuck the raw. I'm a dog, I'm a dirty dog. Ha 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 ha. Oh, dirty biscuits, RJ ruler damage, y'all. And I rap it, want to ratchet, beats head up the camera. Nothing, y'all fuckers corrupted and up to something disgusting. Great Republic, no matter what you order, motherfucker, we what you stuck with.
Yeah, yeah, I really like the production on that. I'm sure obviously it was either solely produced by DJ Premier or at least he helped out a little bit, especially with those DJ scratches as well. But yeah, both of them are flowing fantastically on that, completely in the pocket of the beat. In terms of lyrics, for me personally, I think Killer Mike has a much better delivery than LP, but on that lyrically, I think LP actually kind of got him there. Some really dense rhymes, some really good bars. Killer Mike's delivery is always full of fire, and it was there too, but yeah, decent track. Hook, a little bit annoying, but to be honest, who comes to Run the Jewels for really strong hooks anyway? Next track is called Out of Sight and features 2 Chainz. This is an LP production.
Yo, motherfucking pockets when I come, it's an honor to be robbed by Denise's only son. Yeah, ever ready, baby boy, bitty, moving extra heavy, whipping Chevy, gotta get it, eat spaghetti with the monster. Vegan bitches eat them dick cause they don't eat no steak and lobster. Sosa was my hero, Honey Tony's just a fucking house.
Glory, you're too good to cross that line. Run, tragically struck down in my grind by the
fucking 80s coke, giving babies never regulating, that accumulating, it would not be overstating, cause they are underrated. Proud of Brooke and the team is mean and clean as Jay Malin and Michael Win the Buck. Got no temperature, even if it did, bitch, we cool as penguin pussy on the polar cap peninsula.
Plain in the fat of the land, and your man is mashing, we back in the class of lapping you.
Fucking poverty, I'm cool as AC, and you niggas you just wanna be. I slide on tracks like home plate, ride beats like road rage. Big safe, the bank teller trying to get ranked. I buy a hot dog stand if I'm trying to be frank. Just left the hospital making sure my nigga was straight.
Absolute flow clinic on that track. The way Killer Mike and LP were weaving in and out of the beat. Again, you know, a lot of these 3 tracks haven't had too much substance, but in terms of a display of skill, Out of Sight is unbelievable. And then 2 Chainz coming through with a serious verse rather than a jokey one. But yeah, when 2 Chainz is taking his rapping actually seriously, man, this guy can rap. And in terms of flow there, I felt like he was channeling like Snoop Dogg in the sort of suave, smooth cadence he was using. Yeah, big fan of that one, big fan of that track. The beat itself was very much like you know, classic LP production. I know there's a couple of other different production credits credit to that track, but a little bit maybe too repetitive. But in the second half there were these added parts of the beat that I really did enjoy. Yeah, really good song. Next track is called Holy Calamafuck. Let's hear it.
The non-complier, the death defier, the Mike Myers, murder rapper for hire.
run it too smooth and don't trigger the undertaker.
18 lacking. I would've ran me a supreme racket.
So he might go the render. The pyrotechnocrats, the old razzle-dazzlers. Pile driver provided for liars. Sleep the product. The nick of time, mercy killed the 9 on trial. I killed a motion. Now I ain't for the drones in the zoning district. Hit them, burn them, get them, burn them. Can't get the ghost up, no resistance. Pass the shit, Mike, I have to insist it. Reality sucks, thick house, apple with me. Lick the toe back like delicious. Shit's cool, don't fucking tell Doom, your number's not due. Every other goddamn year brand new, it's been 20.
Bass on this,
Hand to hand in that dumb trap shit, no proper plan. I say ignorant shit like Eagles dance. And rap these streets did the damage, kept me in hammock, laid back with cannons. Get me fucked up, it be calamity. I'ma come through and leave some damage.
Man, that beat was menacing as hell. Personally, don't think that LP or Killer Mike really had too many sort of memorable lines, but yeah, that beat was crazy. Really dense, really textured, but as I said, just filthy, dirty, just really created a really dark mood. Next track is called Goonies versus E.T. Let's get into it.
Oh my god, I own some mag. Cash bag, running through beds, all hope it don't crash. That's fuck y'all got another planet on stash. Far from the fact that the flames of our trash.
Those drums are nuts, man.
Amazing how we made it and didn't fake it. Life's a disguise, the truth is butt naked. Used to be a time I see it and I say it. Ain't no revolution, it's televised and digitized. You been hypnotized and Twitterized by silly guys. Due to the evening news, make sure you ill-advised. Got stood up like a dinner pie. Race in the nation told you to identify. Take false pride and warfare incentivized. That me and my tribe, we on the ill advised. We accept the role of the villains cause we've been villainized. Stone Street, they were nothing to fuck with.
Please say that shit again, Mike.
Nothing to fuck with.
Wow, man, Killer Mike went in on that. Yeah, the weird, interesting instrument in the background of his verse, the drum beats really were immense. And I don't think it can be overstated enough how difficult it is as a rapper to flow over these kind of beats, and the way that they're finding the pocket and not falling off beat in the busyness and the amount of stuff that's going on in the background of these beats is nothing short of outstanding. Like as technical MCs, there's probably nobody better working right now. Only person I could probably say is Black Thought of the Roots potentially, but these guys are just on another level with it. The beat carried on being very menacing and harsh and quite steely, but the main thing lyrically again from that is LP and Killer Mike calling out the public pretty much on, you know, being fake woke pretty much in terms of racial issues, in terms of environmental issues, and just calling people out really. Quite passionately too. Next track is called Walking in the Snow.
Cold flow, got a wire to a lodge and I'll set a fire down below. I hang it up when you say so. Goddamn, that motherfucker's cold. Hey, when the wrong mode, you open and close, you know holes, no go. So directly at the edge of a mass grave that's their design. Fuck connected, you feel different. With a disingenuous way to piss away existence to begin with.
Goddamn, that motherfucker cold. Five, you shipped away from your body to be stored. They promise education, but really they give you tests and scores. And they predict the prison population by who's scoring the lowest. And you so numb, you watch the cops choke out a man like me. Until my voice goes from a shriek to whisper, I can't breathe. And you sit there in house on couch and watch it on TV. The most you give a Twitter rant and call it a tragedy. That's what the future, so then you can face it and see how fucked up it'll be. I promise I'm honest, they coming for you the day after they coming for me. Be them suckers supporting the bitches that talk to the cops.
This little manic turning and facing a fuck up on rock.
Old school tape days, I get radio Raheem Beach Day. My Nike pin is sacred, similar to the Ghostface bracelet.
Fire in a hole, oh no joke. Probably go just on smoke.
Man, what a track. During Killer Mike's solo verse, I got goosebumps. The things he was talking about, obviously they're both touching on police brutality. Obviously, I'm not sure when this was recorded. It sounds as though from, you know, Killer Mike's lines, it sounds as though it's post everything that's been happening in the US, but wow, these guys using their platform to spread the word and just really highlight the institutional racism, the institutional systems that are in place across the globe in terms of to keep black people in a position of inferiority. An incredible piece of music. Production-wise, even though it's hard to step away from the power of Killer Mike's lyrics on there, production-wise, I think potentially the best produced track on this record, and there was an urgency to it. The way the beat developed over the period of that 3-4 minutes was really fantastic. But lyrically, I think you just can't get away from the feeling, the overriding feeling of anger at injustice that is embodied by this track. I'm pretty much blown away by that track. It's been a long time since a piece of music has given me actual physical goosebumps, and that just goes to show the ability and the importance of this subject matter as well. Probably the best Run the Jewels track I've ever heard. Next track is called Just and features Pharrell Williams and Zak Rocha of Rage Against the Machine.
On my grind, I'm just trying to shine. Make a dollar, government, they want a dozen dimes. Talk with myself anytime. Rehab out a hypocrite, cause I know I didn't get it crime.
The background vocals remind me so much of a similar kind of vocals on Kendrick's track Good Kid from the album Good Kid, Mad City, which was also produced by Pharrell. I'm sure Pharrell probably did have a hand in the production of this track. He at least obviously got some of the background vocals as well. And again, you know, both of those tracks touch on very similar themes to this one and to the previous track.
Once for your Atlas shrug, love or not love, it's just that dumb. Lord, sweet Buddha, please make me numb. Go cops still burning 11. Funny how some say money don't matter. That's rich now, isn't it? Get it?
When this coming up through the fence, offshore at a quarter prince, overjoyed at the fingerprints on our weaponry for you is just money.
The breath in me is weaponry. That's what Zak Rocha ended that track with. and I think it's a powerful lyric and one that sums up Run the Jewels just in general really, and the movements that are going on in the world right now, that your voice is the weapon, and Run the Jewels use their platform to do that. Zak de la Rocha is almost like the third member, I guess, of Run the Jewels. Yeah, he's obviously collaborated with them in the past as well, I think a couple of times, I could be wrong, but yeah, another great track. The beat, very minimalist. Reminds me of a lot of Pharrell Neptune's work in terms of the bounce and the bass line. But I don't know whether Pharrell had a hand in the production or not. I know he's obviously got background vocals. But yeah, another good track. I'm still almost reeling from the track before this one. This track was good, but I feel like I'm still getting over that last one. The next track is called Never Look Back.
Funny how time feel all TikTok. You think a death speed to drop a clock shot. Never spoke sad, I heard that's a dog out.
Wig, she was queen, penny, independent when I was a kid. Uncle Luke, don't stop, get it, Magic City. For real, ain't a damn thing fun. Never look back. Never look back.
Get cash for the beats and a smart ass kid with a meaning. Mom said Jay gonna speak with a meaning.
While I enjoyed the lyrical content of that track in terms of both sort of reflecting a little bit and being a tad little bit more introspective, I didn't like the beat on that. Just found it a little bit annoying and a bit repetitive. Yeah, probably my least favourite on here so far. The next track is called Ground Below.
About the car dealer, last temptation of Mike, but I'm a God digger. Tell me as a Bob that the God don't need a job, and if I did, cause unionizing their services.
Say it's your love, hey.
I'm guessing I'ma be okay.
That bass, man.
Say that you'll feel me now. Hey.
It's like a heavy rock song, man.
That evil on me, I'm flipping Ricky. I give an inch to you simps, I'll never forgive you.
Yeah, short track there, but one that's absolutely dominated by the beat. Obviously there's a huge rock influence on a lot of LP's production and a lot of Run the Jewels work, as you can see by collaborating with people from Rage Against the Machine, and on the next track Queens of the Stone Age frontman as well. And on the Ground Below it was very, very noticeable. That sounded like the backing of a huge rock anthem. Yeah, decent track. One not too fully realised, but yeah, as I say, the beat was the standout there for sure. And I thought some of LP's bars were very good too. Next track is called Pulling the Pin and features Mavis Staples, who I believe is a gospel singer, and then Josh Homme, I think you pronounce his surname, who's the frontman of Queens of the Stone Age. Yeah, let's get into it.
There's my cosmology. You numb yourself for years and it can wear upon you honestly. Trying to divvy up and jump in corresponding boxes. How obnoxious. What a good run, but they stopping it. Wanna walk man to the carpet lid. Your heart out fiction band. Truly the truth, the stranger document.
LP was spitting some knowledge.
And the penitent they're home. There's a grenade. There's a grenade.
It's difficult, but when you pitiful, then every day's like a satanic ritual. Beautiful soul in the robe and the criminal. Almost the holy hold on to their principle. I promised my mama that I would stay honest, but I want it all in the physical. People keeping us miserable, taking the most and providing the minimal. Hate to sound cynical, but she was pitiful. Times is just critical. Like Jimmy Seville, they
that guitar.
kill kids in a ritual.
That sort of out of tune guitar coupled with Killer Mike's anger in his verse is it's chilling. It's chilling stuff.
Like right and wrong can't be defined. There's a grenade in my heart and the pins in the palm. There's a grenade.
Up there with Walking in the Snow as one of my favourite tracks. Yeah, like I said before, that haunting guitar, the gospel hook from Mavis Staples, just evokes old-fashioned black music. It felt haunting and ghostly. You had LP dropping his knowledge in that first verse, and Killer Mike coming through with such an angry, righteous verse as well. Definitely up there as one of my favourite tracks on the project. We've actually come to the final track. It's a long one. I believe there is a second half to it, or a secret track or something towards the end. But yeah, it's over 6 minutes, and it's called A Few Words for the Firing Squad, in brackets, Radiation. So yeah, let's just hear it and let's hear how this really, really great project closes out.
Hey, so being a normal never really made me feel the same. I used to want to get the chance to show the world I'm smart. Isn't that dumb? I should have focused mostly on the heart. Notice that the words that bust up all the chips. It really kind of take the sheen on people getting rich.
That's
Like maybe
saxophone.
rich is not the holy ever-loving king of nothing. Fuckers know we know you're bluffing. You were dealing with a motherfucking money runners.
Oh, the strings as well?
It'd be a lie if I told you that I ever disdained the fortune and fame. Made in Atlanta, Georgia, where I used to ride the martyr. With an MD-22 in the front pocket of my brain starter. And a money runner.
This is what I never heard, never even got a motherfucking word. This is for my sister Sarah, honey, I'm so sorry you were hurt. Dog, put the pistol in the air, we are dead, swear to God.
Black child in America, the fact that I made is magic. Black and beautiful, the world broke my mama hard and she died an addict. The shoes in and abused. For the truth tellers tied to the whipping post, left beat, battle proof. For the boys whose body hung from a tree like a piece of strange fruit. Go hard, last word to the fast forward was fuck you too.
What a verse. What verses, what production. This is incredible. What a song. The instrumentation. It's emotional. Amazing. Actually amazing.
A couple of small-time hustlers framed by crooked cops and forced to make a run for their lives. Nothing but a bag of money, a stolen Buick Grand National, and each other to their names.
So I said Walking in the Snow was up there with one of the best Run the Jewels tracks I've ever heard. I think a few words with the Firing Squad might have just beaten it. That they're both incredible pieces of music. As I said before, that beat, the instrumentation is just so different to what you usually hear these guys over. The verses from both of them, again, much more sensitive, much more introspective, and that's probably my biggest complaint about Run the Jewels generally, is that we don't get enough of those kind of tracks. I understand that's not really their appeal, but a lot of the time it does come across as, you know, what I like to call rappity rap, where it's more about showing the skill that they have in terms of being technical MCs than, you know, constructing an emotive song. But on this album in particular, there's several tracks that touch upon, you know, really emotive subject matter. As I said before, you know, that Walking in the Snow song gave me goosebumps. Killer Mike touching on his status in the black community, worrying about, you know, as he's mentioned on earlier tracks, about being assassinated, becoming a martyr, all that stuff. And as I said, both of them fearlessly using their platform to shed light on things that are often swept under the carpet. And in the outro, at the end, you know, the hidden track, I guess, acts as the thesis for Run the Jewels, not maybe this album, but for them as a group, as you know, two anti-heroes, I guess, as you would put it. But yeah, an incredible piece of music, just a really great project, and easily I think that track at the end cemented this as my favourite Run the Jewels project so far. Just what a great record, what a great record. On first listen, just one track that I wasn't really feeling. I think that was called Never Go Back. But alongside that one, you've got two of the most powerful tracks of the year in Walking in the Snow and the final track on the album. Overall, it's hard-hitting, timely, explosive, and while the production is, you know, fairly typical of Run the Jewels projects, the moments they branch out with different types of instrumentation, like on the final track, are really, really outstanding, and yeah, just fantastic moments of difference, I think, for the group. Yeah, most of the tracks are a sort of tough, raw backing to two really powerful voices and an absolute masterclass in flow and lyrics on really unorthodox beats. While I personally prefer, you know, the more introspective artists that reveal more about themselves personally than I think LP and Killer Mike do as a duo, I do understand that Run the Jewels isn't really about that. It's more of a skillful, pertinent statement kind of music with a righteous energy that's pretty impossible to not be riled up by and also moved by. Yeah, just a really great record, and as I said, my two favourites were the final track and Walking in the Snow. Just as I said, as I keep saying, you know, two outstanding pieces of work that I think I'm going to be thinking about for the next few days, I think, for sure. But yeah, all that said, thank you for watching. If you like the video, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment. What did you think of the record? What was your favourite track on here? Hope everyone's staying safe amidst the pandemic, and you know, if you're out protesting too. But all that said, thanks for taking the time to watch this, and I'll see you for the next one.